Welcome, Rejects, to the 24th episode of the Full Send Rejects. On today's episode, we get swirly with our pre-topic banter, which includes Billy doing athletic events, while me and Rose were day drinking at a campsite, and we'll have some Pokemon talk as well. We will then finish out the Unit 731 series with some less than disturbing factoids compared to last week. Billy will walk us down the very halls that inspired Stephen King's famous novel, The Shining. And then we will finish off with Rose taking us through her next leg of her zodiac tour as she discusses cancers. Now, it's time to full fucking send it with our pre-topics shenanigans.
Melanoma.
Billy, sports.
I did sports.
Good job.
I played softball over the weekend and we came in second place.
All because that knee is doing better.
Me is doing better. Not great, but better.
Yeah, but you guys did a good job.
This shows that if you just ignore any medical ailments and just drink instead, you'll get better.
Yeah, dude. No, it was crazy. We lost the first two games and then won the third, and then from the third it was just a gauntlet till we got to the final.
A true underdog story.
Billy said, "Fuck you, Gen Z kids." And still got it.
Screw you guys, I'm gonna hit some dinners.
I did get a nice single.
Nice.
Good job.
And I was allowed to have a pinch runner, which was great.
Oh, that's why your knee do better, because you had to run.
Oh no, like the last tournament, I couldn't even play the last couple of games because of my knee got being all fucked up.
I remember, because my leg gave out too.
Yeah, it was a good time. Oh yeah, we were really showing our age, that we were definitely millennials last year.
Yeah, that was bad. The only thing is I couldn't substitute out because somebody already took the substitution.
Speaking of millennials, Joni making another appearance on the podcast. He did ask me about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you told him he had a cameo.
How did he take his cameo?
He asked me if I remembered what his GPA was.
Jonah, I was high when I said that.
He's our Gen Z.
Oh, Gen Z.
Oh boy.
What were you guys doing while I was dying in the sun?
We were day drinking at Splash Magic Campground.
We had beer for breakfast.
Yeah, we had beer for breakfast.
I mean, I had a vodka Gatorade, so.
See, we got there and it was pouring down rain. So we're like, well, time to drink inside. And then my mom came in. She's like, I'm going to drink with you guys instead. We're like, all right. We play some cards. And it finally died down. Did we do anything after that?
The first night?
Because I think a bunch of them went golfing, but I think we just drank.
Yeah, they went to go play the glow in the dark. They went to the pool, and then they went to go play the glow in the dark mini golf.
Oh, that's right.
We stayed inside and got trashed.
Yeah, the next day we told Cole to go fuck off and do things.
He had the time to suggest it.
He did. Well, they have a little go-kart little thing. You just rent go-karts if you're a kid.
Like little trikes, like little three-wheelers.
There were actual go-karts. You know anything Cole had with 4 wheels?
That he was riding around the lake?
Yeah.
That was a bike, babe. You had to pedal it. Go-karts have motors in it.
Not the pedal ones. Same concept. He had a pedal cart, okay? That he went around the lake multiple times while we were going out of the pool and back in our golf carts to get $5 drinks.
Yeah.
All right, so Cole had the rickshaw and he's pulling you guys, right?
No. So at one point, Katie, she wanted to go down and see what
She wanted pierogies.
She wanted pierogies, so we had to go down and see if the place by the pool had them.
Yeah, it's like
She's
a snack
so white.
shack.
Yeah, snack shack. And when we went down there, we took note that they had alcoholic slushies, 8%, and then we saw that they're only $5, and we realized there was going to be a problem.
The place down the road has them for $5 too. It's crazy.
Huh.
Problem was that we were the problem, and those 8% slushies weren't doing shit.
Yeah, they weren't.
We're the problem.
Because we eventually went back down to the actual pool, and We
had a
drank
thing
a
where,
good bit. Yeah.
But yeah, there was one point that we were on our way back on the golf carts, and Cole was just cruising on the opposite side of the
At
lane.
one point, so like we were coming back up from the pool, or from the pool, and we're like, oh, let's go around the lake before we go back to the campsite. And we just see Cole pedaling on the opposite side. We're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, we were cruising, and we're trying to get Mikey to try to hit on young girls.
Okay, easy to say young girls.
Well, he's young too. He's only 15, but like
age
girls his age.
appropriate females.
Yeah, like 8 kids.
Yeah, we
like
need
girls,
to clarify that.
Yeah, like girls his age were like, Mikey.
At one point, just out of nowhere, because he has the same little like bike thingy pedal cart that Cole had, and he saw like 3 little kids on a bike. He's like, "I'm cooler than you."
As he hit mud puddles, he was purposely hitting all the potholes. He was just like, just splashing mud everywhere.
So at one point, he got air.
Oh yeah,
He went around a corner, hit it, and he got air.
Fucking ripping, Mikey.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
It was a good weekend, and then we had the fire potatoes.
Yeah, Cole caught a catfish.
Neat.
He got his first fish.
Yeah, he got his first fish. He was so happy.
Oh, it's his first fish?
Yeah.
Oh, good for him.
It's not his first time fishing, but it was his like first actual catch.
Catch, yeah. No, it's a life-changing event. Good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, Mom, I felt it tug and I didn't know what to do, so I kept just doing stuff.
Yank it and twist.
It's usually how it works.
Yeah.
Or my first time. Oh, we're still talking about catching fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's got a couple years of that yet.
Oh my God, he came in before. He's like, look, I'm going to make Mickey Mouse dizzy. And he started doing a certain motion. I'm like, Cole. Oh God.
No.
Mario. What was it? Mickey, was it?
Was it Mario? It was
I
Mario.
don't know. And it was like a Lego Mario that had like light up. It lights up and makes noises. And he kept like jerking it, and you hear da-ching, 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 here we
It was
go.
terrible. Well, you practicing that much? He just gave me this look.
You just hear, like that sound where he's collecting the coins, and he's just ching 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 ching. I'm like, oh my God, Cole, just go, just please go. Because then he sees it's funny, and he doesn't know why it's funny, so he continues to do it because he knows it entertains us.
It's funny, yeah.
Yeah, so it gets to the point where we have to try not to laugh, and we're like, okay, cool.
Youth.
We'll play. Kids.
What else happened on Splash Magic?
A lot of splashing. A lot of magic.
There was splashing. There's slides they had. And if I had any alcohol in me, I sobered up real quick.
I almost fought some kids.
Yeah, Rose almost fought some kids' parents.
Well, she said she almost fought the kids.
Them too. And the lifeguard. And the parents. I'm a mama bear.
There are some other juveniles that thought they could yell out Cole.
He was splashing in a pool. They're already soaking wet from being in the pool. And
it's called Splash Magic. What do you expect?
That's what Cole said to them. He goes, duh, that's why it's called Splash Magic. And then he said they were rude. Yeah, he said they were rude and they were yelling at him, and the lifeguard did nothing.
See, I would have just told Cole to just punch him in the balls.
See, regardless of how many times we tell Cole to stick, he's getting better at sticking up for himself, but to do actual physical violence to somebody, I don't think Cole's built for that.
Nah.
He's timid. Like, he's just like...
Yeah, he needs to play a psychological game.
He needs to start playing some Call of Duty or something.
Yeah.
These video games make kids do some violent things.
Why'd Cole get written up? I don't know. He called some kid a pussy.
I don't know. He loves GTA and he hasn't stolen any cars yet, so I think we're okay.
I did see him actually fight a hooker the other day, though. He said, fuck the police, and then boom.
Oh my goodness. He goes, Mom, look, I got the police chasing after me.
Why do you think he was on the other side of the lake?
Just God, kids are something else. And Alina she's just as violent. little baby.
Hey, you know what? That's also what happened. We played around a mini golf ourselves, and someone here nailed a hole in one on the last hole.
Isn't the last hole like supposed to be a hole in one?
Yeah,
Yeah, but
he was the only one that got it.
yeah, because I'm the best.
Oh.
We were tormenting Cole though. Use adult humor around kids, and then they try to act adult. It's just he's like, Mommy,
It's so
you're
precious.
yeah.
He's just a baby.
Like, Cole, what's it like to be a noob at mini golf? You would get so mad.
I like how that's the worst insult you can give your kid. Call him a noob.
Because it's a new age insult.
Yeah, you can say anything to him, but nothing. Come on, noob. He gets his like pissed off face. He gets mad.
We've been saying some kid slang lately just to stay relevant with the insults. And I'd be like, no cap, Cole.
Oh,
That
wait,
ain't
do we
bust-
have any new kid slang I don't know about?
Yeah, I what is he saying? On God. I
don't know.
Okay, I know that one.
I mean, he uses that's sus all the time.
Okay,
That's
I'm
sus.
still keeping up with the lingo.
No cap.
Hate it, but I know it.
Yeah.
Facial my nizzle.
No, that's
Up in the
old.
hizzle.
And what is the other one he says? Oh, where he grabs his arm and goes, "She."
Jesus.
I'm like, what are you doing? And it was for me. That was like slang for yo, bro. You got any drugs?
Yeah, because you put your hand at your arm right there.
Yeah, you put your hand and you point to your other arm like a needle going in. It's like
Trying to come off goddamn fentanyl ferret.
I don't
I like that
understand.
fentanyl ferret.
Thank you. I got that when I used to work at the hospital on how to make epidurals.
He uses bussin' all the time too.
Oh, I hate that one too.
Bussin'.
I can't keep up with them. There's some of the things or cap no cap.
You're looking up new teen slang trends.
What was the other one? He said, "Oh, that's a bop." What the fuck is a bop?
I'm cutting this part out.
A good song. I use Bob all the time.
Kids Bop? Oh, wait, no, I heard
Yeah,
Bop before.
that's good.
Davidson special.
Yeah.
That sounds a bop.
Yeah, some of these words are just words we used to use for no action. Oh yeah,
Bougie.
it's a upbeat song for that's a banger. Bougie, everybody uses bougie. I mean, there's a lot of things that kids say. Cap, no cap means it's false or it's truth. True.
You realize by like searching like teen slang, you're about to get hit with like a bunch of like ad targeted for like people in their 60s.
I hope so. I can't wait to apply for my age card.
You can now. There's no age. You don't have to be a certain age to do it.
I need my life
Yeah,
alert.
dude,
But
I get emails all the time.
Yeah.
I'm looking for that life alert. I need one.
Well, you know what happens to become old? Become a ghost.
Damn.
Oh, you sure do.
Yeah, that's quite the transition you're doing.
I'll try to fit it in.
What's the segue?
Yeah, nice
Thank you.
segue. However,
Way to be a dick and rub that. Oh, it's Thursday. It's my last day of work in my face.
I did it to both you and CJ. Because I just got out. I'm like, thank God it's Thursday. And I called CJ after I got home. I'm like, hey, how's your weekend going?
he messaged me this
What a
morning.
dick.
He messaged me this morning. He's like, it's 9:00 in the morning. I've been at work for 4 hours eating a bag of chips. You're just now making it to work.
Yeah. But damn it, I deserve my 3-day weekend.
This man, I'm surprised he's still awake right now because he's been in bed at this time.
Listen,
week.
2 things. A, I fucking full send for the podcast. And B, I will be dead after this.
Yo, Fridays are always the worst at work.
Listen, see what I'm banking on what happened right now is, you get tired, you get really silly.
Yeah.
Yep. I am banking on that.
Oh man.
But back to the transition I was trying to form here.
Go gadget.
Just a little something extra I was thinking of. Your favorite ghost type Pokemon. And I know Billy knows his, so I'll let him go.
My favorite ghost type Pokemon is the Alolan. Did I do it right? Marowak.
Alolan.
Oh, that was obvious.
Have you
But
seen
like,
that thing?
yeah, well,
Yeah.
It
a
has
fire
fire
ghost.
bones.
Come
Yeah.
on. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's
I know how
fucking
much you love.
sick.
He does. And have you played Sun?
Sun? No, I haven't played any since what was the like Ruby or some shit?
Oh, okay. That's a while.
The last one on Switch.
I'll have to let you play Sun because Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. That's what you're thinking of. But I'll have to let you borrow Sun so you can play because the Alolan Marowak plays an important part somewhere.
Oh, goddamn right. But like everyone knows, I love Cubone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they have these things called Totem Pokemon. They're kind of like just boss fights, and one of them is a Alolan Marowak. I think it's either that or he's like a gym trainer's ace.
Fuck yeah. Oh, runner up to Haunter and Gorgeist, by the way.
Yeah.
Two good choices.
My favorite
Gorgeist
has
is
to
beast.
be Gengar, aka Billy's favorite pillow when he spends the night.
Fuck yeah, dude. Gengar, best pillow.
He comes in clutch with the fluffiness. But I also like Mimic
Mimikyu, the one that's like
Mimikyu.
Pikachu.
Little like zombie Pikachu.
Yeah, that one's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Actually, I played Sun. I use on my team.
I was gonna be
I
like,
don't-
yo, Litwick all the way, and I was
It's a ghost type.
like, no. So I was just like, yo, I like that little
Just pick some random dumbass Pokemon.
yeah.
I don't know much about the little Mimikyu thing.
Oh, I think it was pretty cool. So when it first came out, so it also joined Team Rocket in the show, but basically its whole idea was that it became jealous of Pikachu, and so it took that disguise, and it literally just wants to murder Pikachu.
Oh, okay. No, I might have a new favorite.
And that it was actually like touched on in the anime that was meant for children. That Mimikyu
Good.
tried to commit murder.
Yeah. I feel like because I like Mimikyu because Pikachu is one of those like everybody's like, oh, do you know any Pokemon? Everybody's like, yeah, Pikachu. Like that's their
Nah,
Shut the
Mimikyu.
fuck up.
yeah, everybody knows who goddamn Pikachu is. And I like that it's just like the zombie, I'm off to kill you, you basic bitch Pokemon.
Well, my favorite's a pretty common one too.
What's that?
Haunter.
Yeah.
Okay, my
Just-
runner up.
No, just because if you remember like the original show where Ash kind of had a Haunter and this little fucker just took nothing serious. He just laughed and fucked with people. I always respected that.
I mean, I think I think all of them are good from Ghastly all the way to Gengar. I think the whole entire evolution of that Pokemon is pretty solid.
We should go look at some of the entries for some of the ghost types. They get pretty dark. There's some type of how they just take children away. Some come steal souls. I think Yamask is like his whole thing is like he just carries the mask of his old soul.
Are you telling me these ghost types are spooky?
Spooky
Ooh.
skeleton. Spooky skeleton.
Ooh.
Speaking of weird ones, Duskull.
Which one?
Duskull? Duskull?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh, the little floating little gas
floating
thing
little-
with like a skull
Yeah.
mask.
He's a cute
We're
fella.
just Zelda.
That one's pretty cool. I like is that the ghost type? I think Jellicent, the little like jellyfish with a
Yeah.
mustache. Just floats around doing what he does.
Spirit
Yeah, big
Bomb.
Brillish.
Spiritomb.
Spiritomb.
Yeah, Spiritomb. It's a little to deal with.
I hate the
Ooh.
fucking swords.
Oh, Honage, Doublade, and Aegislash.
Yeah,
Ooh.
especially
Wonderful.
Doublade.
I think they fit like the theme of what's going on there with the whole like design of the game. But yeah,
Golurk, though, that's an OG.
I like Golur. The giant
We're
ancient.
gonna sit here and talk half the podcast about what fucking ghost Pokemon are cool.
Oh yeah. I mean, we can move on to the segments with that involve some actual ghosts.
Let's go from spooky ghost to holy fuck ghost.
Well, remember, If you need to get a ghost to the ghost zone, call Danny Phantom. Danny Phantom.
All right, what kind of sushi are you serving this week?
And he was just 17.
Oh.
Yep. Ruining the mood. Here we go. Unit 731, Part 2.
Action.
See, last week we ended with Part 1, and this week we're starting with Part 2 just to ruin the mood from the start.
Thanks,
See,
alcohol.
I knew I put in Ghost Pokemon for a reason, to kind of lighten the mood. Well, welcome to Part 2 of my Unit 731 series. Last week we discussed some of the horrific crimes that were committed by this infamous Japanese military unit that kind of left us silent and stunned at the end. Not going to mention why.
Mm-hmm.
However, on this segment, I will discuss the closure, the aftermath, and some other information regarding the unit that I did not cover last week. And some of this might kind of be a little bit of a review from last week, but mostly staying away from the actual crimes themselves, because I think we went pretty deep last week.
Still, viewer discretion.
No, we don't need a viewer discretion advisory this time. I don't think. I mean, unless you're homeless or Chinese or
Triggers.
I saw deranged in there.
Yeah. Now, to remind you of the death toll, there are some different figures. One comes from, in 2002, the city of Shandong, China, which was, if you remember, the site of that big plague bombing. They estimated that 580,000 people in total lost their lives from this unit. However, American historian Sheldon H. Harris estimates that the number of deceased is closer to just over 200,000. And both of these numbers include the 1,700 Japanese soldiers that were just collateral damage during the bioweapon attack in Shandong. Some deaths occurred after the war, too, due to the release of plague-infested swine. See, told you I got pigs in here. Which killed an estimated 30,000 more people for a few years after the war, up until about 1948-49.
That's a lot of uneaten rice.
Yeah. It's a lot of pigs, too.
So they're saying over 200,000.
Yeah.
I'm looking up. Okay, yeah, the Holocaust was way more. Never mind.
Yeah, Billy, Holocaust was 6 million.
Wow.
10,431,569.
It was just 6 million Jews. That's right.
Yeah,
What?
6,636. You're right, but still.
Well, that's also the whole Holocaust. I'm sure because there's other units do like this, and then there's other things Japan did. You know, I'm sure once you get all into that, those numbers, it might increase a little bit more. Probably not 6 million, but I'm sure it gets up there.
Listen, we all know the Irish had it worse.
Fucking British.
Never forget.
Never forget. Victims included bandits, the mentally disabled, the mentally challenged. I guess they're the same thing. Well, there's my challenge moment. The homeless, and whoever the military police felt like arresting that week. I'm not even kidding. They would just go out and just arrest people for whatever. Most victims were Chinese, Russians, and Korean, with a minor percentage being POWs from allied nations such as America and the UK. And remember, there were no survivors.
Sorry, I missed that one.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's okay. Prisoners were taken through secret tunnels after arriving, where women and children were separated from the men. Blood, kidney, and stool samples were taken before the experimentation began. Like I said, I will not go into this time so as to not ruin this episode. However, prisoners would immediately lose their names and instead be assigned a 3-digit number that would eventually be given to someone else as soon as that person died.
I was going to ask how they only work with 3 numbers.
Yeah, they just recycled. See, at least they recycled.
Oh, yeah, reduce, reuse, recycle.
Yeah, exactly. They reduced them to being less than anything, killed them, and then they recycled. And the Nazis say they're proficient.
Okay, so in green.
Prison cells consisted of wooden floors and a small toilet to use, which honestly kind of surprised me that they even had toilets.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I was quite in shock. There were specially made cast iron doors that were used to prevent any chance of escape. There is also testimony that prisoners would often be found laying on the floors, motionless and naked.
I've seen a video like
2 girls, 1 unit. There was one escape attempt where a prisoner managed to obtain keys and open doors. However, anyone who tried to leave when these doors were open were shot almost immediately. And of course, this attempt was made by 2 Russians who lured in guards by pretending one was severely ill before beating him and taking the keys, which again kind of surprised me that someone actually cared enough to go check on someone who was, quote, ill.
Yeah, especially a Russian in Japan at this time.
Well, I think I have it later at some point, but keep in mind, Japan and Russia had their own little war about 40 years before this. So, yeah.
We're not friends.
They were not friends. So now that we got a little caught up on some of this information, what happened with Japan, and this is a spoiler alert, when they lost World War II?
They lost?
Believe it or not, they did.
Wow.
I know, right?
I wish I learned that on my own.
Surprises again, motherfucker.
Sorry. Don't worry. It's not like I'm going to tell you that Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's dad.
What?
Yep. Well, before I ruin any more classics.
Shark in Jaws?
Believe it or not, the shark in Jaws was a great white shark. That's why I made it so far, because it wasn't a great black shark. Oh, well, before Japan took the big L, the director of Unit 731 protested the government to use biological weapons against the U.S. since 1944 in the Pacific, but he was turned down. And I bet they regretted that when we went nuclear.
Swing and a miss.
Before us Yanks got to the unit, it was actually the Russian army that first advanced towards their location. As news came of the Redcoats coming in, the Japanese shot all remaining prisoners and began to destroy evidence. And I know Redcoats is traditionally British Army because, we kicked their ass, but it was the Red Army, so communists can have this one, I guess.
It was their time of the month.
Yeah. There was a lot of blood from the executions.
Is that where the red dot came from? Flutter.
I thought the red dot was like the sun.
Yeah, it's the rising sun. You're racist?
It was their period spot.
Oh my God. Moving
Shark
on.
Week.
No. Jaws.
Why?
Jaws 7.
It is Shark Week.
Return of Kung Pao.
Jaws 7, the menstrual cycle.
God damn it.
Anyway,
Kung Fu Panda.
this left about 600 Chinese prisoners shot, not the menstrual sharks, but, the Japanese executions. There was also 300 other prisoners either gassed, Nazi style, or force-fed poison to kill them. Potassium cyanide capsules were then issued to every remaining worker in case they were captured. They're ordered to keep all secrets to their grave, which was, okay, they're on the honor system here. Just, hey, we committed a shit ton of crimes. Don't say a fucking word.
Just
yeah, here's some potassium cyanide just in case. The facility was then blown up by a skeleton crew prior to the arrival of Allied forces.
Spooky skeleton.
Ay. So you might be wondering, how did our wonderful, completely moral, ethically plus forces react to this unit? Well, Lieutenant Colonel Murray Sanders would arrive to interrogate the unit, and he was there because he was a heavily respected microbiologist and a prominent member of America's bioweapons department. However, before he got to Japan, he had no idea this place existed. No idea Unit 731 was a thing. They just took some guy and sent him there.
I thought he was in Kentucky making fried chicken.
Where do you think he got his recipe from?
Oh.
Colonel Sanders without their fucking killing the ships.
However, during these interrogations over the secret recipe,
11 herbs and spices, my boy.
Yep. 11 herbs and war crimes. No one from Unit 731 admitted to anything until Lieutenant Colonel Sanders threatened to allow the Soviets to have at them. Now,
It's bigger.
now the morning after these threats were issued, I'm not even saying his name. The Lieutenant Colonel received. You done?
My mom always said. No, Colonel Sanders, you're wrong.
How is Rose?
Just sometimes you gotta let it happen.
Yeah, because I'm on her level.
Oh, okay.
Can we continue?
So,
All right. Well, where was I even at? Okay. Well, he received a manuscript.
Bill.
He received a manuscript detailing Japan's official involvement in Unit 731. Turns out no one wanted to go to a Soviet war camp and have their recipe stolen.
God damn it.
However, the Soviets did capture some of the herbs and spices, aka the members, and most were sentenced to 25 years of hard labor in Soviet work camps. And I believe I have this in here later, but yeah, that was in Siberia, where there was no
cold.
fast food. Yeah, pretty cold. So Sanders took this information to American General Douglas MacArthur, who was kind of like the main person in the Pacific Theater. He was pretty famous. He led the defense of the Philippines, even though he lost. And actually, during the start of the Korean War, he wanted to deliver nukes onto North Korean cities. He wanted to bomb them with nukes.
Probably would have saved us a lot of time, huh?
Yeah, here we are 80 fucking years later. We're going to bomb America.
Fucking all right, bud.
Like, we invaded Iraq just because we thought they had something. And they're over here threatening us. That's how little we care about North Korea.
The only reason they exist is because they don't serve us any good.
We will bomb you unless we get the recipe. So anyway, General MacArthur would strike a secret deal with the remaining members of the Unit 731 in exchange for all of the test results remaining. So remember last week when I kind of told you guys you're going to be pissed off this week?
Yeah.
There you go. All these people did these things and they got away with it. The
Love to
members.
see it.
Yep. It kind of gets worse.
Oh,
I guess there was a discretion that should be advised. Anyway, we'll get there when we get there. The members were allowed to go back to having normal lives in Japan with heavy monitoring from American forces while we kind of owned Japan. Because remember, they kind of like a colony of ours for a little bit. They were our territory. We occupied Japan. Also, none of this information gathered was allowed to be shared with other allied forces, such as the UK, Soviets, France, etc. All because us freedom people believe this information could heavily benefit us, and we just wanted to benefit us only. So when General MacArthur set up the International Military Tribunal for the Far East to hear the crimes of Japan, which were very similar to the Nuremberg trials of Germany, only one reference to 731 was allowed to be made, and that statement was eventually tossed like a salad for being too vague.
Colonel Sanders a chicken?
Yep. The only convictions that were made were to physicians who vivisected American pilots who were POWs, and they were given 15 to 20-year sentences.
Whoa.
Now, how did the Soviets reach deals like the Americans did? If you really thought they made deals, just, nothing, Jon Snow. So they held a separate war crimes trial, which included the top general that led the bioweapon attacks in China. The Soviets held their trials in 1949 with Lev Smirnov serving as the lead prosecutor, who also served as their lead prosecutor during the Nuremberg trials. Everyone here was sentenced to 2 to 25 years in Siberian hard labor camps. And when the news of this was released in 1950, America being America denied everything and chopped it up to communist propaganda. It's honestly kind of weird to say that the Russians were in the right for once. All but 2 of the prisoners would return to Japan, one died in prison and one who committed suicide. The U.S. also asserted that the Soviet trials were part of a racially motivated attack on Japanese people. Wait, here's my note. As I said before, mind that besides World War II, Japan and Russia fought a war in the early 20th century. That was actually brokered. The peace deal was brokered by Teddy Roosevelt. So another fun fact here.
What a fucking guy.
He is. Yeah. However, the Russians countered with saying that the U.S. were giving war criminals lenience, which was true. However, a mysterious new bioweapon facility opened up in Soviet territory, with a lot of Japanese fellows serving key positions. So they might have been doing some leniency deals too.
Ah. Hmm.
Now, don't worry, if you didn't think America could look worse in this instance, it gets worse now. Because during the American occupation of Japan, Masami Kitoka, sorry for butchering that, I'm not a native speaker, he was allowed to carry out research on unsuspecting victims. He was allowed to infect the mentally ill with various diseases, primarily typhus, from 1947 to 1956. And when you kind of go back to our previous episodes with Billy kind of talking about how we handle asylums in this time and how we kind of treated the mentally ill, kind of makes sense that we would allow this to happen there too.
Lobotomy sounds better.
Yeah, fair. So, do you guys remember Ishii, the guy who started the unit?
Mm-hmm.
Sure do.
He was given complete immunity for transferring all of his information about the experiments to us, the Americans.
That's fucked.
Gets worse.
Oh, good. You keep saying it. I keep doubting.
Well, because you think that, like, okay, we got this information. We had to get, like, a lot of information, useful stuff to grant a monster like this freedom. You were wrong, because we transferred maybe 5% of what we had to microfilm and stored in our archives before giving everything back to Japan.
That's fucked.
Yep.
God bless America.
Yep, we got, and then of course Japan got it back, and they're like, "Oh, we don't have anything." So what about after the end of American occupation in 1952? There was one death from human experimentation that occurred in, again, sorry for this pronunciation, Nagoya City Pediatric Hospital. Hospital always gets me.
Right.
This death was connected to a former Unit 731 member. A suspected mass murderer, Sadamichi Hirasawa, was also rumored to be a former member. However, government officials refused to sign his death warrant. He was just out there killing people in Japan, and nobody in Japan wanted to give him the death sentence. So there's some shady things there. A Japanese author, Shichi Morimura, wrote a book, The Devil's Gluttony, about a suspected Unit 731 member killing more people post-World War II. He actually did a lot of research for this, and it looks like he might have been onto something. However, there was one problem, and there was proven falsified pictures that were used in the book, so the accuracy of it is very debatable.
Womp womp.
Yeah. However, in 1981, a former member, Ken Yuasa, gave the first testimony from a Japanese national in Chinese territory about human vivisections. This would be the first of 14 interviews with former members in Japan that led to the documentary Japanese Devils, not to be confused with the New Jersey Devils.
And God bless him.
So we covered America, the Soviets, and kind of China, but how did the government of Japan react? Complete denial. There was more denial than people in the far right believe in Trump won the 2020 election.
Shocking.
Yeah. In 1983, the Ministry of Education began to censor textbooks and really any media possible that covered the subject.
Oh, like America now.
Worse.
Yeah.
Well, because in America, you can always, if you want to find information, you can go find information. There, you can go to jail for this.
True.
Yeah.
Internet.
However, there was a historian who published 4,000 pages of evidence that also included American cover-up schemes that began to change the mind of the government. So in 1997, Japan's Supreme Court ruled that forcing the removal of mentionings of what happened in Unit 731 violated freedom of speech laws, and thus textbooks and other media were allowed to discuss the true history of this unit. So, was that 14 years? Yeah. Of just complete silence.
Yeah,
It was almost a whole generation growing up. In 1997, a lawsuit was filed against the national government demanding reparations to be paid to the families of the victims of Unit 731. All levels of the Japanese court system, from local courts to the Supreme Court, denied any wrongdoing and judged the claims to be baseless and ruled that these claims would need to be ruled by an international court. Keep in mind, America basically runs international courts because we're the big dog, and we had Japan's back. So,
what can we do?
yeah, nothing. However, in August of 2002, for the first time, a Tokyo judge ruled that Tokyo engaged in biological warfare. However, he denied any compensation claims on the grounds that peace treaties already settled the matter.
But didn't we biological? No, that's not biological.
Oh, we did biological warfare in Japan.
Did we? What's that? Is the atom bomb biological, or was there more? There's
No,
more.
that's nuclear. Nuclear and biological are two different things. But we did once drop a plague bomb in Japan.
Oh, it is. I remember that.
Yeah, we did a lot of war crimes. We just, don't talk about it because we won.
Surprise us.
In October 2003, a Japanese House of Reps member demanded the release of the names of the members of Unit 731. And the wheels of government move fast, and 15 years later, 2018, Japan officially released the names of 3,607 members of Unit 731 and the details of what they did.
Big jump.
36,000? 3,600.
Yeah, 3,600, not 1,000. So that basically sums up the international reactions and what happened post-World War II. However, the unit made some appearances throughout media, and there was ones that I found familiar that I thought, would be nice to go through. So starting with literature, DC Comics actually made a reference to Unit 731 in Hellblazer issue 142. The popular manga. My Hero Academia made a strong reference to Unit 731 that China kind of found to be displeasing. I'll let you imagine why. Apologies were made, but they kind of just continue making the comic. Dark Horse Comics, think Comics by the 300 movie, Predator, Alien, Avatar,
Fuck yeah,
The Last Airbender, and some other popular ones. They issued a 4-issue miniseries based on a POW sent to Unit 731. There are several films. However, none were made in America, so Hollywood here is honestly your time to shine to make something that most Americans never seen, and this includes documentaries.
I'd watch it.
Yeah, I'd watch it. There was some references to music, some that I found more on the famous side, and notable was Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden. He wrote Tears of the Dragon when he was during his solo act. This was about the atrocities committed by Unit 731. And also Slayer made numerous references in their album World Painted Blood.
Fuck yeah, they did.
There are numerous TV episodes related to Unit 731. However, the only one I found that I recognized was an episode of X-Files. However, many of us have played Call of Duty Zombies, and they actually included a map based on Unit 731. Sure, there's been references this whole time. We just never clicked.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're ending my topic on an awesome note this time.
However, I do have something to add to yours.
Hmm.
Our good friend Colonel Sanders, from Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
I'd like to give a quick little shout out. His birthday is on a very special day.
Are we getting married on his birthday?
We're getting married on Colonel Sanders' birthday.
Oh, Ryan Reynolds and the
Colonel Sanders?
Well, Ryan Reynolds' anniversary.
It's Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is his own wedding anniversary, and Mr. None other than himself, Colonel Sanders, was born September 9th, 1890.
Well, time to get new catering.
So when the night of the wedding, I want to look at you and say, I'm finger looking good.
Jesus.
When we have our post-wedding coitus, I'm just like, finger looking good.
When you go do the garter pull, I want to rub some chicken grease on my thigh.
Get some gravy.
Your mother listens to this.
Ask me if I care. She'd heard worse things from me.
I was going to say worse to her face.
I put an explicit content warning on this for a reason. Well, we took a garter out and I just came out with a chicken thigh.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm gonna DoorDash you fucking a bucket of chicken. I'm just gonna pull the whole bucket out from underneath my dress. We'll just put it underneath the chair, and
I swear to God, I will cartman the whole thing.
Put some mashed potatoes around my mouth.
That's all you can eat down here, boy.
Fucking hell.
Oh, well. That about sums it up for me this week. Hopefully, I did not disturb anyone, especially those who like chicken, like I did last week. Upcoming, we have the Stanley Hotel with Billiam.
Oh yeah, we're going from chicken fucking to a place for fucking. All right. When you think of movies that scared you as a kid, what comes to mind? For me, only one name comes to mind, and that is Stephen King. Between it and The Shining, my wee brain was up terrified way past my bedtime when I was about 5. We're going to Derry, Maine. I'm kidding. I really hope Pennywise doesn't really exist. Today we're going to Estes Park, Colorado to visit the hotel that inspired Stevie to pen The Shining, the Stanley Hotel.
Yeah, Pet Cemetery did it for me.
Another banger. Another banger. The Stanley Hotel was the brainchild of Freeland Oscar Stanley. Freeland was the co-founder of the Stanley Motor Carriage Company. We're talking like the OG Stanley steamers, not the dudes that come in and clean your house for an exorbitant amount of money.
Stanley Steamers keeps your hotel cleaner.
Call 1-800-STEAMER.
Hey, can they sponsor us? Is that a thing?
We'll send them a message.
Sick. Anyway.
Isn't there a person called the Stanley Steamer?
Yeah, so you have mashed potatoes at a wedding.
God damn it.
You want your
In
potatoes?
1903.
Go ahead, Billy.
In 1903, Freeland was diagnosed with our favorite podcast disease, tuberculosis.
Ooh.
Of course, Freeland wasn't just shipped off to any old not asylum. He had the money. Instead of the nice Louisiana swamp air in Waverly, Freeland's doctor, Sherman Bonney, suggested going to the west for fresh mountain air of the Rockies. In March of 1903, Freeland and his wife arrived in Denver, Colorado. Because of an uptick in his health, by June they had purchased a new summer home in Estes Park, Colorado. They returned every summer, and by 1907, Freeland was practically cured, which goes to show fresh mountain air is much better than being locked in a cage.
Who would have thought?
Though Freeland and Flora liked Estes Park, they tired of the lazy small town feel and wanted to add more life into the place. The Stanleys decided they were going to turn the area into a resort town for all his rich friends from the East Coast, and shortly after, construction began on a 48-room grand hotel. When you have money, you kind of get stuff done. He just rearranged the entire town.
Jesus.
The hotel was also to be used in part for tuberculosis patients who seemingly also probably had money. This actually made the dude seem kind of like he wasn't an asshole, but he probably was.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm going to turn this small town where people just do what they want, act as they please, and I'm just going to own it so I can make my own hotel.
It's like an episode of Yellowstone.
It's like a whole season of Yellowstone.
Oh, and we're going to bring in tuberculosis patients because that'll make the guests feel good.
Yeah. Let's not even segregate them. Let's just let them mix in.
I'm assuming they were segregated, but I don't fully know.
Yeah, this doesn't strike me as a place known for their medical upkeep.
No, I mean, it's honestly a nice place.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to hearing.
Yeah, no, there's actually not that much bad stuff. During construction, the land the Stanley sat on was purchased by the 4th Earl of Dunraven, which sounds real fancy. Originally, Lord Dunraven had claimed the land and surrounded 15,000 acres following the Homestead Act of 1862 to use the ground as private hunting reserve. Now, what the Lord didn't really take into account is that Colorado was mostly tough as nails ranchers and farmers at the time. And they didn't really take too kindly of a lord imposing on their land, and they drove him out of the area.
Respect.
So it is Yellowstone. Lord Dunraven left all the land in control of an overseer who obviously didn't oversee it all that well. The Lord allowed Stanley to keep the hotel under the condition he had a room there. Before the hotel had opened, Freeland suggested naming it the Dunraven, and the town, showing how much they really liked Dunraven, signed a buckskin petition of 180 signatures for steamer for Stanley to name it after himself. I really enjoy that the town used buckskin. It just kind of screams American.
Just a bunch of random villagers. What do we have? Paper? Papaya? Papyrus? No, we got buckskin.
See that deer that's hanging out back?
We're gonna write on it.
It's said that Lord Dunraven actually visits quite often these days, as he's said to be holed up in room 401, which was his room. Lord Dunraven is said to be holed up in 401 with guests and employees citing apparitions, bangs, footsteps, and the occasional EVP. The Stanley, not Dunraven Hotel, opened on July 4th, 1909, hosting all of Freeland's ritzy friends from New York while they summered in style. By 1910, the hotel added a concert hall and a manor. I assume the Stanleys stayed in the manor when they enjoyed their summer there, and the guests had the hotel. I don't know. The Stanley Company also made specially designed vehicle to transport visitors to and from the nearby train station up the Rocky Mountain. Freeland, the rich prick, made jokes during this time that he was spending more money to run the hotel than he was making, but who gives a shit?
So are these like vehicles just overly sized HVACs?
They're like 8-person Stanley steamer uh,
Hmm.
cars. The hotel suffered a semi-tragedy in 1911 following a power outage, forcing the hotel to use the gas lighting fixtures. Because of the minimal use of the gas lamps, several of them actually exploded. 9 were injured, including one severely. While tending to room 217, the gas lamp is said to have exploded. Elizabeth Wilson was tending to the room. Elizabeth was said to have hailed from Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Represent.
That's not important at all, but I wanted to get that little bit of hometown flair in there somewhere. After making a full recovery, Elizabeth continued to work at the hotel until her death in the 1950s. It said her spirit still haunts room 217 where the gas lamp exploded. This is said to be the room Stephen King spent the night in 1974, claiming to have terrible nightmares about his son being chased by a fire hose through the hallways. That sounds a little, it had to be a lot scarier than it sounds, I guess. Originally in the Shining book, it is room 217 that Danny and Jack find the dead lady in, but the movie adaptation has it as room 237. The room has hosted more celebrity guests. Jim Carrey was given the room while they filmed Dumb and Dumber, but he could only spend 3 hours in the room before the spirits started to get to
We made another movie called Haunted and Haunter.
him.
Ha ha ha.
In 1926, Freeland had tired of the resort life and sold the hotel to a private company. By 1930, the hotel was already in foreclosure. Not wanting to see anything really bad happen to the grounds in the hotel, Freeland again purchased the hotel and eventually sold it to Roe Emery. Roe was just another rich guy who found his money in buses through Glacier National Park.
Hmm.
Fun fact, Roe's kid, Walt Emery, was a co-founder of the Denver Broncos. That's not important, it's just a fun bit of trivia to add.
I like trivia.
Stanley would continue to summer at the hotel until his death in 1940. He was 91, which is pretty good for having tuberculosis in the,
You
early
just want
1900s.
you just want to get out of fighting Nazis.
Over the years, there hasn't been too many happenings that should lead to ghostly stuffs. There are a couple areas that seem to be more paranormal than others, though. The carriage house, where mechanics would work on the steam cars for the transport up the mountains for the passengers, is said to hold a lot of dark presence in it. Today, the carriage house is where employees put beds of guests who have died in their beds. A spirit is said to be very grabby in here, and they especially like the ladies. Perhaps it's just a dead guest who had an erection that lasted more than 4 hours. I don't know. The fourth floor is supposedly booming with paranormal activity, as there are 3 rooms known to be haunted. Obviously, room 401, Lord Dunraven's room, but also room 407 and 428. Room 407 is said to have a spirit who sits on the bed, which leaves a full imprint. in, it's a mattress. In room 428, a woman stated that she had witnessed a man she could see through pacing through the room. The spirit then walked over and kissed the woman on the forehead and left the room. The woman's husband actually witnessed this too, so kind of creepy. They're just some weird dude.
Maybe they were role playing.
It's the strangest cuckolding I've ever seen.
Talk about being ghosted.
Yeah, they didn't know they got the cuckold room.
Mm.
There's a lot more I could cover on the Stanley Hotel and its many different buildings and tunnels. We're supposed to fit this into an hour, and by now I'm sure we're all pretty scarred by Unit 731, which I wasn't, surprisingly.
I said it was going to be easier this week.
Yeah,
there's-
but leave it to me to not believe you. I'm sorry.
Well, to be fair, I am known for my trickery, so that's understandable.
Your tomfoolery.
I am quite the haberdasher.
Yes.
Oh, yes, quite. Quite the plot twist.
Yes.
Feeling a little crabby today. The segue.
Segue.
What the segue? What the segue?
You can't stand you guys. But today I am covering Cancer.
Which kind?
The
Colon,
zodiac.
Oh, zodiac.
Shed suffered melanoma.
Yes, it's going through my little journey through the stars and the zodiacs of astrology. Next up, because it is Cancer season, I wanted to give a little tribute to star sign here. Not the biggest fan of them, but
No one's a fan of Cancer.
Bitches.
Yeah, right. All right. Cancer. Their symbol is the crab. Their zodiac time frame is from June 21st and all the way to July 21st. So we are just about wrapping up. We're smack right dab in the middle of Cancer season. So take your vitamins. Their element is water, and their ruling planet is the moon.
Moon's not a planet.
Yeah. That's how much this sign sucks. The moon's not a planet.
It's a satellite.
But everybody has a ruling planet. That's how unimportant Cancers are. They don't even have their own planet. They just have the moon.
Sorry to every Cancer listening.
I'm gonna start measuring Cancers that way. Like, haha, you suck. You're not worth an actual planet.
Well, you have to be careful because Cancers are known to be sensitive.
Yeah, no, they cry all the time.
Yeah, they like to seek comfort, forgives, but they never forget. They're like an elephant. Cancer's
bullshit.
Yeah. One boundary, but it's very firm. They like to take on other people's problems, mostly to make their own. I was looking at the best careers for a Cancer.
Please say doctor.
And I actually try to come up with some kind of something that doesn't make it seem like I'm such a hater. But no, the emotional pack.
Really, that last one?
Be a pack mule. Donkey. Prepare to be a therapist, donkey.
A caretaker probably for like somebody on a hospice because
ironic.
Yeah.
I do assume Cancers are good caretakers.
Yeah, you would think so. So I was doing a lot of research on that, and yeah, they actually do. They're good at listening and trying to understand people. An elementary school teacher, which makes sense because kids are needy and they like to absorb other people's issues. And a free hug booth operator.
Again, where is this occupation? Because I sent in 100 applications till I got this job, and not one of them was either a free hugs booth operator or an emotional pack mule.
National Cancer Society.
Then where is their fucking secret underground of hugs?
Okay, this Cancer water sign is represented by the almighty crab. Between seas and shores, Cancer's ability to exist both emotionally and material realms, they juggle it quite well, more so on the emotional side. They are known to be highly intuitive. For instance, they can effortlessly pick up energies in the room. They are sensitive to their environment, and they are extremely well self-protected. I was reading that out of all the zodiac signs, they not so much psychic ability, but they have the sense of picking up on other people. They can read people very well. Like I'm the type of person that you can tell if I'm pissed off. It's just on my face.
What? You have resting happy face.
Shut the fuck up.
Which side of your face?
Just the one
Gemini joke.
Much like their spirit animals, Cancers are shielded by their hard external shells.
And they're good in a pinch.
I can't. At first, these crabs may be perceived as cold and distant, but with time, Cancers reveal themselves to be gentle in nature, genuinely compassionate, mystical capabilities. Don't be surprised if it takes a while to get to know them. Yes, Kodak, I can see you looking at me. I know that there's at least 5 other zodiac signs that can relate to.
I wasn't thinking that. You said mystical capabilities. Like, do they get along with mermaids?
They're crabs.
The seaweed is always greener in somebody else's lake.
Every time I do
Under the moon.
Yeah, I'm a sea goat. God damn it.
This is my payback. Because Anthony is so tired that me going last and making Colonel Sanders jokes, now he's at the point of delirium and he's just going
It's pronounced delirious.
Delirium. Like I said before, they are intuitive. They know what you're thinking. They know what you did. Don't try to lie to them. They have the instinct or the ability to scratch. You hear me scratch?
Scratch and sniff.
Scratch and sniff out their secrets. And that also gives them makes them a tad paranoid because they're constantly trying to figure out who's lying.
So it's kind of like Santa Claus with anxiety.
Yeah, pretty much. They're loyal, aka clingy. If you notice, for every good thing, I quotes about something that's the opposite of good. But yeah, whatever. No star sign is more loyal than the Cancer. They have a total blind spot for they love, and they're willing to look over almost everything, but they demand the same thing in return. Like, hey, listen, I loved you with my whole heart, and now I need you to love me with your whole heart. And I cooked you pancakes, so tonight you're making me dinner.
We'll have some crab.
That's a hard trade-off.
However, if you need space or privacy, good luck. They will invade you in every corner of your life and will install themselves into your
like software. So like a virus.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Cancer. What do you want?
Yes. Yeah.
They're everywhere. It spreads.
They are moody bitches. They're mood quite literally, which means that they can rapidly switch a freaking flip switch or whatever you want to call it at any
like a cycle.
Time. Shush.
What? The moon's on a cycle. It's called the moon phases.
Yeah, they have many moon phases. One moment they're happy, next moment they're sad. You say the wrong thing and completely flip a switch.
You might be onto something.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Nostalgic here. They can't and won't turn their feelings off once they've been ignited. They will remember your birthday. They'll ask how your mom is. They have an instant sense of how true you really are. And they're the type of people that you want to have as a friend. If you're having one of those, I need to cry into a bucket of ice cream. That's where they're the best. I would say they're the best at being a friend-like situation.
Oh, the Cancer friend I had sucked. She was broken.
But again, that also goes into once they like cling themselves onto you, it's you're fucked.
I'd rather deal with chemo.
They're charming. I in my my little quotes, manipulative. When the mood is up, they can be wonderful company and magical partners. They're funny, they're passionate, insightful, adventurous. The downside is they are demanding. They expect payback for their loyalty. These crabs are very fragile.
It's pronounced fragile.
That's what he said.
It's Italian.
A boopity boppity.
Well, being under the weather is one of the signature strategies for gaining attention. They love having a self-loathing pity party. You're only invited if you're serving buckets of sympathy. Again, they're one of the people that they will fake something. They will, just to get attention, they'll make something about themselves. And if you're the type of person that would eat that shit up, then
Yeah, no, she's an okay Cancer. I got it.
yeah. All right. Apparently, from all the research I've done, the only thing that I've come across that's good about Cancers is apparently their sex is decent.
But I don't get
It's not.
crabs.
It's
I got full-blown lobsters.
a lot of it that I read is because they are so emotionally in depth that they attach themselves to people emotionally and romantically, which makes it a more passionate setting, not so much like freaky or
Yeah, but you walk away with an
Yeah.
itch.
It's boring.
All right, the best matches, and it makes sense because all these signs suck. Taurus, Virgo, Pisces, and Scorpio. They all
Hey, I'm
suck.
part Pisces.
Well,
So you're part Pisces?
Yeah.
it's big three.
Oh, I thought I'm like a genetic trick. I'm 23% Pisces.
That's Zodiac and me now.
Yeah.
I'm 30% Polish, 7% Jew, and the rest is Pisces.
Their worst matches, which is funny, Aquarius, Sagittarius, Aries, and Gemini.
That's racist.
That's why
My wife is an Aquarius. How dare you?
Oh, we're gonna get a Sagittarius and we complete the whole
Alina.
trifecta.
No,
There we
fuck
go.
that. Oh, god damn it.
These are the worst matches for the crab. Because most of these signs,
I thought there was another bad match for the crab.
I also
Butter?
have Aries in me.
Boiling water.
no, the matches that we have, I'm ignoring you, by the way. The worst matches
Good
we have,
luck.
because Aries have short tempers. They're known to speak their
What?
mind. Geminis, well,
Try to ignore you and make good jokes.
they are completely off. They're off their rockers. Sagittarius are known to be short, subtle, and Aquarius just don't have any feelings.
Yeah, Alina's so subtle.
You don't know that. Look at her now. You say, "Give me a kiss," and she like strong arms you now.
Not to me.
Oh,
She's
just
You
like-
live with my wife and tell me she doesn't have feelings.
I went out there before. Like, I went before. I'm like,
yeah, half a bottle of tequila later.
I went before. I'm like, oh, give me a kiss. She went, mwah.
Yeah, because she wanted something.
She already had everything she needed.
Yeah, she had to spend all day with mommy.
And now I'm getting a death note. Thank you. Now she's
I don't
feeling
really-
rage.
Take her to work with you.
You already signed the dotted lines. You make a deal with the devil, man. You can't.
It was forgery.
Now, my favorite part of covering these zodiac signs, which famous serial killers were born underneath the star sign? Now, there were
Right after
32,
every kill.
there are 32 serial killers who fall underneath the Cancer signs. However, not very many of them were infamous and like you wouldn't know, but just by the name, unless you knew what they did. So I threw a couple together just to give you guys an idea. Christopher Scarber. Does anybody remember who he is?
Is he one of those
I
Alaskan
do.
fish?
Christopher Scarber was the convicted murderer who physically assaulted Jesse Anderson and serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he
Yeah.
went on to kill people.
Yeah, he was already sentenced for a life term for killing a man named Steve Lohman. Christopher Scarber received 2 more life sentences for killing Anderson and Dahmer.
He killed Dahmer in prison with a broomstick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I also have a Tommy Lynn Sells. He was an American serial killer. He had claimed to kill over 70 people, and he's believed that the police have in saying that he only murdered at least 22. He was eventually caught after murdering a 13-year-old girl, Katie Harris, and attempted to murder 10-year-old Crystal Souls. For the crime, he was rewarded the death penalty.
Rewarded.
Yeah.
But what do you
Damn.
Yeah. And in 2000, he was eventually executed. In April of 2014, he was axed. So,
I believe they do lethal injection, not beheading.
well,
Yeah.
exactly what I mean. Keep up with the slaying, bruh.
Well, Let's
We
like with
already
a crow.
talked about slang.
All right. And last but not least, for Shirley, probably the most fucked up was Miss Janine Jones. She was a licensed nurse who was suspected to have killed up to 60 infants and children in her care and used extremely strong drugs to end children medical issues during the crisis of when those kids like scarlet fever and all those things came up. They're like, oh, this kid is suffering, let me just kill it.
Now we're going to killing kids this week.
Yeah.
So she's the Kevorkian of kids?
She was considered the angel of death for infants and young kids.
You know, there was a famous restaurant owner who was also a cancer.
This is the Krusty Krab.
Krusty Krab. Yeah,
I knew it. I freaking knew it.
Pizza. It's the pizza for
Pizza
you.
for you and
I knew it.
Yeah.
You are predictable.
Oh, wow, that's just rude.
Well, I hope everybody enjoyed, and I do not mean any disrespect to any of our cancer listeners. I'm sure you're really right now.
I don't know. Check the moon like a werewolf. Been their sign. Hey, the moon affects us. What animals we chose? The werewolf? Nah, let's go with a crab.
We run sideways. But you taste delicious.
And a bunch of Zoidbergs running around out here.
Isn't Zoidberg a lobster?
Yeah.
He's a nothing. He's an alien.
Yeah, he's not a lobster. He's a cephalopod from outer space.
Yeah, he's an
Yeah,
alien.
there it is.
Yeah. But he's not a lobster, technically.
Rock lobster.
Oh, okay. We're getting silly now.
We've been silly.
Silly Billy.
Oh.
Silly Willy.
Silly Billy with a silly Willy.
Whoa.
Shout out to the Williams brothers who actually call me Silly Willy all the time. It's annoying.
Wait, speaking of shout outs, weren't we supposed to shout out that one other podcast in this episode?
Oh, yes. The Well House Exorcism. They actually piped in on our, well, they didn't, I don't know if they listened to the episode, but they piped in on the hot dog is a sandwich debate and the Creek versus Crick debate.
Very nice.
Oh, that was an episode.
Shayna says Crick.
Huh.
CJ says Creek.
I put Crick in Wordle, and guess what? It worked. So Crick is a word.
PJ says Creek.
You gonna click me next?
But do go check out the Well House Exorcism. They're on Spotify. I don't know about any other ones because I only use Spotify and I don't check other things. They're also on Twitter where I talk to them, and we had this debate. At wellhouse_EXORC, I believe.
Very nice.
Very nice. Also, shout out to your wife and your Silly Willy.
The Silly Willy of Silly Billy and Silly Philly.
Shout out to Liz, who is feeling a lot of feelings in this rage.
She is the keeper of your Silly Willy. She is the Silly Willy tamer.
God damn it. She listened to these. Now she's gonna laugh.
Put a fucking clown horn down there. Pull pass out.
A fucking bucket of
I swear to God, if we're in the middle of it, it's just look at this Silly Willy. I'm gonna kill both of you.
Oh my God.
Oh, that was fantastic.
I'm gonna name this episode Silly Willy.
Oh, God damn it.
Kentucky Fried Silly Willy. Colonel Willy.
Oh, that just sounds cannibalistic.
And the biscuit side piece.
All right, well, before we get murdered by him, let's try and get out of here.
Hey, it hasn't happened yet, but I will text you the minute it does.
Well, as we wait for that text, that
Code 731. Code
731. Get us out of its basket.
Silly Willy is silly. Free Willy.
Okay. Well, before we continue, that will do it for us here. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and, learn some new things along the way. Next week, we will discuss the story behind the Mad Hatter, the
Yep.
unsolved serial case of Bible John, and Rolling Hills Asylum in New York. Back to the asylums.
Genesee, New York.
Scenic New York.
Genesee, New York.
Oh,
We
Genesee,
got
New York.
that
Not
good up
Scenic.
here.
How's their KFCs?
Not bad.
Ah, very nice. We hope you stay tuned for next week's shenanigans. And in the meantime, don't forget to follow our social media at Full Send Rejects. We will appreciate any and all of your feedback. And until then, full fucking send it.
Fucking send it.
Send it.